So for the past couple of years, I've tried really hard to be a more productive, creative person. And obviously for me, that means creating YouTube videos on a regular basis. But one thing I've really noticed is that there sort of is this tension between being creative, but also having structure and being organized in your productivity. Because it kind of almost feels like by definition, creativity excludes rigidity and structure. Or at least it resists it really strongly. Like to an extent, creativity in my head is sort of free flowing and it just happens as it happens and there's no real necessarily rhyme or reason behind it. But one big thing I've really learned over particularly the last 6 months, I think, is that to be creative on a consistent basis is actually really hard if you don't have some sort of system or structure in place. And I'm sure if you're any type of creative, you probably experience a similar sort of thing. If you're trying to create creative things on a regular basis, it's difficult to do for an extended period of time if you're just doing it when you feel like it or as the inspiration comes to you or whatever it is. And so today I just thought I'd share 3 iPad apps that have really helped me to be more productive as a creative person. Counterintuitively, I've found that it's actually enabled me to be more creative because I can go through my sort of creative process on a more regular basis without being affected by my mood or what kind of week I'm having because I've got a system now. So again, I'll just explain how I use these apps in my YouTube video creation process, but hopefully you'll be able to apply them in whatever creative field you're in. Whether it's music, design, photography, video, whatever it is, hopefully you'll be able to apply these apps into your creative process and it'll help you become a more productive, creative person. So I've got my iPad here, got my cup of tea. So let's get into it. And just before we start, I put out videos every Friday on how tech can be used to improve your life. So be sure to subscribe if you're interested in more of those types of videos. All right, so the first app on my list is GoodNotes 5. And the thing I really love about GoodNotes, you can get your thoughts out in a less linear way than typing it down. So for example, I'll often use my Apple Pencil to create mind maps like this. And I always tend to find that in my creative process, this is kind of the first app that I'll use because in some ways it's the least linear because I can just sketch out whatever I want. I can get my thoughts out, but then I can actually start to organize my thoughts because previously I tended to just run with what was in my head without actually putting it down on paper, or in this case, on the screen. And of course that meant that my thoughts would tend to get jumbled or I'd forget things. And so learning to get my thoughts out on paper like this has really helped me to clarify my thoughts and be more organized in terms of what I'm thinking and how I'm going to go about doing something. So for example, here I was trying to come up with new video ideas around the whole tech subject. And so I just created a mind map, like going out, I could do some stuff about lighting that's related to tech. What else is related to tech? Apple, video, editing, and so on. And then I can create further branches from there, like Final Cut, effects, color, transition, and then I come up with some actual ideas that I thought would work for videos. But of course, when I'm just thinking about these things in my own head, it's not as clear because it's not all out in front of me like this. The other benefit I've found with GoodNotes, like I said, is that it's all handwritten, which I find to be a much better way of expressing my thoughts than, say, typing on a keyboard, for example, because it's more of a free-flowing, creative type of expression. The other great thing about GoodNotes is that it's actually quite organized. You can create folders, like I've got here, for my different areas, and then within those folders you can create multiple notebooks. And again, it's sort of just a way of creating a structure around my creative thoughts and my thinking and process, and it's just more organized than if I had it all on bits of paper or random journals, and particularly it's much better than if it's just all in my head. The other good thing is down here I can search, so I can search keywords, YouTube, and it will actually search through my handwritten text, and then I'll be able to find ideas or thoughts within GoodNotes that I might have forgotten about or I need to find quickly. So again, if part of your creativity is just coming up with ideas and getting your thoughts out on paper as an initial step, then I find GoodNotes just really great for that overall. So the next app I find really good in terms of being more organized and productive is Notion. And you've probably heard of Notion before if you've been on the internet for more than 5 minutes. And for me, it's kind of the next step in the process after getting my thoughts out in GoodNotes, because it's a little bit more linear, it's a little bit more structured than GoodNotes GoodNotes, but it's also super customizable and I can organize it how I like, which is really good. So there's kind of two main things I use it for with my YouTube stuff. And the first thing is just creating a structure and schedule around the videos that I am planning on filming and writing, and then when I'm going to actually publish them. So here I've got all the videos that I'm currently writing scripts for, or bullet points for, videos that I have ready to shoot, and I'm currently shooting one of these videos right now. And then I've got filmed videos, and then I'll put them into the editing category. Once I've started editing them, then scheduled. So I've got two, currently scheduled videos. And then when they're published, let's go to the published category. But the good thing is I've also got a calendar view here, so I can actually schedule out when I'm going to upload and publish these videos. So here you can see I've got the green tick for the ones that are already uploaded and scheduled. So I've got 2 uploaded and scheduled, and then I've got the next one planned down here on the 3rd. So keep an eye out for that. But again, I just find it's a really good way of visualizing process and structure, which enables me to be more consistent with how I'm actually making my videos and being creative. So the second sort of main way I use Notion with YouTube is for all my ideas. So here I've just pretty much listed out all of my different ideas on what I could create videos about, and then within each of those ideas I've created separate pages, and then within those pages I've got more ideas. So it's just kind of like this branching tree of ideas in a way, if that makes sense. And again, I just find Notion really good for keeping track of all of those and listing them all out. If I was going to keep a list of all my video ideas within GoodNotes, for example, it'd be a lot harder to keep track of them all, because it's hard to hand write out all those ideas and then organize them in a structured way, whereas Notion enables me to do that really easily. So that's why I like to keep all of my ideas within Notion. So again, you can apply this to your creative process in all sorts of different ways, and the awesome thing about Notion is that you can customize the structure of it to how you want it. And also, like that, it's quite visual, so it suits people who are creative. And yeah, it's just a really great tool, so I highly recommend it. So the third and final app which I use in my creative process is the app Procreate, and you've probably heard of this also. Again, I use it for 2 main things. The first thing is ideation for my thumbnails. So the good thing is that I've created a template here, which I can then just sketch directly into. And the reason I use this over GoodNotes is because it's just a bit more flexible, and you've got more sort of creative options within Procreate, considering it's a painting app. And then I integrate these thumbnails back into my Notion process, because once I've created some ideas, I'll export the image and then put that into my Notion template where my video is ready to film, so that I've got it all organized in the one place, and anytime I want to create content related to that particular video, it's all there. And again, I just find being able to sketch out my ideas is just more inspiring and interesting than typing them out on a keyboard. The other main thing I use Procreate for is to actually create my YouTube thumbnails. I used to use Photoshop, but it's too expensive and it's pretty basic. I don't do a lot of complicated stuff within it. It's just a good way of being able to quickly and easily create YouTube thumbnails. And for you, maybe in your process, it's about creating mock-ups or quick sketch designs that need a bit more detail than you could do in something like GoodNotes. And it's about putting it into that system and process to help you actually be more structured around how you're creating things. So yeah, those 3 apps is what has really helped me to produce more as a creative type person. And like I said, the big thing that I've learned through it all is that having a system is something that really does enable me to produce more, but also gives me more creative freedom to an extent to make more things on a consistent basis and iterate and improve, rather than just being dependent on if I'm in the right mood or not. So let me know if that helps you. I'd be really keen to hear what type of creative person you are and what sort of system you have behind it. If you're interested in more tech videos related to creativity, be sure to check out my creative tech playlist. And other than that, I hope you have a brilliant day, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.